Shabbat Shalom and welcome everybody. I'm Rabbi Javier Carapan and I am joined this evening by Leslie and our musicians and our technical team. You couldn't see this from where you're home, but all of a sudden I see Dave sitting with the congregation and I'm like, we're not going to have streaming today? What's going on?
No.
We have Nathan. Thank you, Nathan. So the teacher has now a disciple and he can relax.
You're making it worse. First time here, now I'm a teacher. It's like, I love this.
The mensch of the month.
I am sending him home with you.
But good, I'm glad, we are glad, and all are glad, including those of you at home, that Dave gets to sit with the congregation this evening. I don't know if that's a good thing, right?
It remains to be seen.
But we were not kidding when we said that if you're interested in being part of the team, we need your help, and you will get trained by our teacher and make you a disciple, and then you'll be able to run the sound system. And this is very important for those of you joining us from home. If you have any problems with the streaming, I have to clarify. We have a technical assistance line. That number is 913-303-1134. You can text that number and one of our technical people will help you find your way back to our streaming. For those of us here in person, just a reminder, we're calling all the pages in the square brackets, and take a moment to silence all your electronic devices. We're doing this together, so making sure that, yeah, exactly. There we go, thank you. Thank you. So for those of you at home who are joining us and have candles ready to light with us, we invite you to go ahead and light them. And together we join on page 121. And we offer this prayer. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we on our own day be among those who kindle light. Service continues on page 120. As we welcome Shabbat. It is very hard. I think we have another, she's going to bring the torch.
Look, I'm all for environmentally friendly, but Shabbat's got to start sometime.
Oh, those were the green,
Those are the green ones,
matches. They're still green. They're beautiful.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. You know, for an act that is commanded to be done, you would think it would be a little easier.
You know, in my previous congregation, we had actually one of the things that you use to light candles in churches. We have one of those. And it was on, and it will come on, and you do it, and then you can turn it off afterwards. Because we have this problem so many times, somebody decided to donate that, and that ended the problem. So here's a thought. I'm just saying, there is a solution. Thank you. Until then, we will continue to welcome Shabbat no matter what, in any way that we can. On page 130, we join together with Lechu Neranena. Lechu Neranena, Lechu Neranena, Lechu Neranena, Lechu Neranena, Lechu Neranena, Lechu Neranena, Adonai. Naria, Naria, Letzur Ishenu, Nekana Fana Betoda. Naria, Naria, Letzur Ishenu, Dismirot Naria lo. Lechu Neranena, Lechu Neranena, Lechu Neranena, Adonai. Lechu Neranena, Lechu Neranena, Lechu Neranena, Adonai. No, wait a minute. Lecha Dodi.
Never mind.
I thought so. Wait a minute.
Lecha Dodi.
Likrat Kala.
Just kidding.
Shabbat. Nekavela. Lecha Dodi. Likrat Kala. Bnei Shabbat. Nekavela.
Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad, Ishmianu el echad Adonai echad, Ushmo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'litila.
Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Bnei Shabbat, Yechavela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala,
Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, Yihi mekor ha'meracha, Merosh mikdash nesucha, Sofa yaseh b'makshavas tefila.
Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Bnei Shabbat, Nekavela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Bnei Shabbat, Nekavela.
Hitoreri, Ki v'orechu mi'ori, Uri shedaveri.
Kevod Adonai alech nigla Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Bnei Shabbat, Nekavela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Bnei Shabbat, Nekavela.
Bo'ri v'shalom, Ateret ba'ala, Gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, Toch emunei am segula.
Boyi Chalan, Boyi Chalan, Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, Bnei Shabbat, Nekavela. Lecha Dodi, Likrat Kala, We continue together on page 149. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Page 150. Everlasting love, you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai, our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Israel. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, הייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Emet. Service continues together on page 158. We join together on page 161. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will. Baruch Ata Adonai, hapores sukat shalom, aleinu v'al kol amo Israel ve'al Yerushalayim.
ושמרו
בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם. ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת, שבת, ויהי נפש שבת, שבת ויהי נפש. שבת, שבת ויהי נפש. שבת, שבת ויהי נפש. אנה נה 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 אדוני. אנה נה 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 שפתי תפתח. אנה נה 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 ופי יגיד, ופי יגיד את תהילתך. אנה נה 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 אדוני. אנה נה 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 שפתי תפתח. אנה נה 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 ופי יגיד, ופי יגיד את תהילתך. אנה נה 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 אדוני. אנה נה 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 שפתי תפתח. אנה נה 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 ופי יגיד, ופי יגיד את תהילתך.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Vekone HaKol, Vezocher Chastevot v'Imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei Vnehem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Be'ezrat Sarah, Ata Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye Metim Ata Rav Lehoshia, Morit Hatal, Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechaye Metim Berachamim Rabim, Somek Nofelim Ve'Rofeh Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, Micha mocha bal gevurot, umido melach, melech memit umechayeh, umatzmiach Yeshua, v'neiman ata l'chayot metim, baruch ata Adonai, mechayeh hametim. Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukdoshim b'chol yom yalalucha sela, baruch ata Adonai, Ahil HaKadosh.
Oh, sorry, you already moved it. I apologize. We now turn our thoughts to those in need of return and healing. We begin with the Mishaberach for those in captivity or whose whereabouts are unknown since October 7th, 2023. May the one who blessed Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob, Leah and Rachel, bless, watch, and guard the captives, men, women, and young children, among others of the house of Israel, who found themselves in distress and captivity. May Adonai grant mercy upon them, take them out from darkness and gloom, break their chains, redeem them from their ordeals, and return them quickly to the comfort of their families. And may the words of the prophet Isaiah be fulfilled speedily in our own time. Then the ransom of Adonai shall return, and come with shouting to Zion, crowned with joy everlasting. They shall attain joy and gladness, while sorrow and sighing flee. And let us say, Amen. We now turn our attention to those closer to home, those of us who are in need of healing of the mind, body, and spirit. If you are with us online, you may have access to the Mishaberach by following the link in the comments. If you'd like to offer names, please type them in the comments and I will try to read them. For those of you in person, we have a Mishaberach list and we also have the opportunity to offer names as I go around the sanctuary, starting with our choir here. Right? Thank you. Thank you. Chris Gray, As we think of those in need of healing, we join our voices together in the Mi Sheberach on page 371. Mi Sheberach Avoteinu Mekor HaBeracha Ve'imoteinu. The source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors bring blessings of strength, companionship, and healing to those of us who struggle with the oppression of addiction, emotional distress, and mental suffering. Surround them with loving kindness, grace, compassion, and peace. Let us say, Amen. We also think of Chaya, Karen, Chris, Annie, and Frank Leffer. It is now time for our Simcha moment. As you all know, Simcha is a special joy from this past week. May include your birthday, anniversary, good news. Those of you online can type them, and I'll try to read them. For those here in person, we have a microphone and an X. You come up here, tell us who you are and why you're here. I was reading some of the earlier comments, and I do want to share a simcha that I'm reading here. It's a simcha in many ways. There is a lady here, Cheryl Timms, who is watching from Clontarf, Australia, and she says she's very happy that my son is with all of you. So we've reached Australia now. And hi, Cheryl, it's nice to meet you from a distance. There you go. That's a double simcha for her and for us.
I'm Carol, and I have two. So one of them was that I went to the doctor and I was given 2 new prescriptions, and I went to get them filled, and the bill came to $592 and some odd cents. And I said, well, what about Good RX? And they brought it down to under $5. That was a very good one. The other one is, you may know that I've been searching for food that my cat will eat. He's on a diet, and he's supposed to have the wet food because it's less calorific than the dry food. And I have been trying different wet foods. And I finally came upon Fancy Feast, and he likes it.
On Monday, we moved out of our home where we'd lived 47 years into an apartment, and we have only a few boxes that haven't been emptied yet. Wow. And these are the reed masters. Oh, yeah.
These are the reed masters, if nobody knows of you.
I'm Warren. I do have 2 simchas this week. Number 1 was our congregation working with B'nai Yehuda at the Yizkor service, and how well Rabbi and Leslie represented us, and how well it was just so nice for 2 congregations to come together. I know it's nothing new, but it still impresses me. I think that's a simcha. Simcha number 2, granddaughter and her seventh grade middle school band played a piece that I had written and dedicated to my father. And my son had some input on composing the piece. So this was certainly a case of L'Ador Vador, and I enjoyed that very
That's
much.
very nice. Thank you.
Stay up here, Warren.
No, he has to go play.
You have to go back and play.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Dave. I also, I think, have two. This week, we got a really nice thank you card from somebody who normally watches online, but she happened to come in for the Juliet program. So not only was the card just an absolute delight, thank you, Beverly, but just knowing, right, that I guess that connection to us, right? It's fantastic. Also,
I just stand with you. I'm your support person.
well, so now simchas are joys, so I need you all to be happy. As the mensch of the month for the last 4 months,
Oh, God.
I want you to know that I have checked out Guinness Book of World Records, so maybe there'll be another Simcha we're seeing. But I want you to know that as I depart as your mensch of the month for the last 4 months, I leave you in good hands, and I hope, and I'm sure everyone's read the Tekiah, and I couldn't be more thrilled than to pass the honor on to Jim Kaplan.
Thank you. Thank you to the mention. Oh, we have one more. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Hello, I'm Hadassah, and this week I had map testing, and my score went from 207 in the winter to 230, and I made a dish called cowboy hats in my home ec class.
Wonderful. You know, I have a friend in Argentina who is a home ed teacher. And when we were going to college together, we tease her all the time. She sang with us in the synagogue because I said, oh, are you having cake 1, cake 201? But she enjoyed it very much, and she retired, so she's happily retired and did this for many years. So it was fun to see all the things she made, you know. Well, I could see it online on Facebook. So tonight, for those of you standing here, we're going to have the blessing for the counting of the Omer. We have 2 blessings today, so you have to wait a minute until we get to Shehecheyanu. That's all right. Dave should know not to stand in front of the... You're fine. You're fine.
You are fine.
But you can turn around and read with us the counting of the Omer. First, the blessing, Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher Kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al Sfirat HaOmer. And Hayom 11 Yom Shehem Shavua Achad Be'arva'a Yamim LaOmer. Today is 11 days, which is 1 week and 4 days of the Omer. And if that's not enough, we have another counting today. Our God and God of our ancestors, may the new moon bring us goodness and blessing. May we have long life, peace, prosperity, a life exalted by love of Torah and reverence for the divine, a life in which the longings of our hearts are fulfilled for good. So, Rosh Chodesh Iyar Yeh Beyom Shlishi. The new moon of Iyar will begin at sundown on Tuesday. Wonderful new month. So as we have all the simchas combined, we join together in the Shehecheyanu. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Shehecheyanu v'kimanu v'higianu Lazman hazeh. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam
Shehecheyanu v'kimanu v'higianu Lazman hazeh. I'm so glad you didn't make it weird.
So I stepped away for a minute. I don't know what I missed. So I am, this first part, it's a little exclusionary because this is only going to work if you grew up attending a conservative or a traditional synagogue and you paid any attention. So it really limits the amount of people. Yeah, I was thinking about you, Larry, in particular. You told me stories about it. But you know, our president, an ex-sitting president, he grew up in a conservative place, but they did something good because you took it as a responsibility as an adult to serve the Jewish people. So maybe you thought you weren't paying attention, but something percolated. Anyway, so this part, if you grew up again in a more conservative or traditional synagogue, you may remember the Torah reading for the day of Yom Kippur. And this is the one where you read about the story of the two he-goats, and they made an impression on me the first time when I was 16, 17 that I heard this story. And I think in many other youngsters, when you hear the story of the two goats, for those of you who may have not grown up that way, I will spare all the gory details about the sacrificial cult, but it suffices to say that among the rituals of Yom Kippur, up until the destruction of the temple of Jerusalem, the Kohen Gadol, the high priest, was to perform this rite. One goat was to be sacrificed on the altar, its death atoning for the sins of the priests themselves, and the other goat is sent into the wilderness, providing expiation for the people's sin. And this ritual is based on a few verses from this week's Torah portion, Parashat Acharei Mot, which we will read tomorrow. By the way, this is usually a combined Torah portion with Kiddushim, which has beautiful verses like, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. So rabbis never have to talk about the goats because, Acharei Mot, Kiddushim, you always, let's talk about you shall be holy because God, Adonai, is holy. It's beautiful. No need. But we're not this year. We only get Acharei Mot. And the first story, I don't even want to tell you about. You can go read it. It's something about the son of Aaron. It doesn't end very well. Now, so the other goat, though, is sent into the wilderness. Now, the Torah portion, Acharei Mot, means after the death of Aaron's sons, and we read two verses really only. Aaron shall take the two he-goats and let them stand before God at the entrance to the tent of meeting, and he shall place lots upon the two goats, one marked for God and the other marked for Azazel. Now, this particular translation, which is now our JPS, the Jewish Publication Society translation, it's actually accurate, but it does not help me make my point today. And you'll see in a minute why. So here is the King James Version of this last verse. And Aaron shall cast lots upon the two goats, one lot for the Lord, and the other lot for the scapegoat. Okay, so now we're into something here, right? Because Azazel means scapegoat, but it also means Azazel is a place. So it could mean both things. From this translation, we get the common meaning of being a scapegoat. That is, the unjustifiable blame for the suffering of others. In his Jewish Heritage Torah commentary, Rabbi Eli Garfinkel calls indeed the Jewish people, quote, the world's unwilling scapegoat. Rabbi Garfinkel writes, quote, throughout history, Jews have been scapegoated for many events and movements, including the death of Jesus, the Black Death, both communism and capitalism, and even the Holocaust itself. Let's unpack this a little bit. I know there's a lot in this little section. Now, in the English language, the term scapegoat came to be used for a person, an animal, or an object to which the impurity or guilt of a community was formally transferred and then removed. In common usage today, a scapegoat is someone whom people blame for their own misfortunes and even for their faults and sins from the other person, not for the scapegoat itself. According to the well-known historian Dr. Deborah Lipstadt, the scapegoating of the Jewish people can be traced back to the origins of Christianity, in particular to Jesus' death. According to Dr. Lipstadt, the early church taught that the Jews conspired to kill Jesus, even though Jewish individuals did not actually kill Jesus. And this paved the way for the undermining and marginalization of Judaism that followed. Dr. Lipstadt writes, quote, Jews, early Christians argued, repudiated this new faith because of their inherent maliciousness. This formulation rendered Judaism more than just a compelling religion. It became a source of evil. The International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance working definition of anti-Semitism states, accusing Jews as a people of being responsible for real or imagined wrongdoing committed by a single Jewish person or group, or even for acts committed by non-Jews. Blaming the Jews for this or that tragedy in a society or country is not just problematic and absurd. Just think for a moment, Rothschild's space lasers accusation. That was a real one, just happened not long ago. It is also a sign of anti-Semitic tendencies. Scapegoating has been in my mind this week, both because of the Torah portion, because I'm aware of what's coming in general, and also because of the many protests on campuses, on American colleges and universities, which seem to reinvigorate the scapegoat anti-Semitic trope. Now, the piece that I have not decided yet, and this is for you to think about as well, does scapegoat follows anti-Semitism, or does anti-Semitism then create scapegoating? Not good outcomes either way, but I am not sure what comes first. But there is a connection. Now, I will say the obvious. Not all criticism of Bibi Netanyahu and his government is anti-Semitic. This is a fact that more than half of the Israeli public wants Bibi gone. So, and we have varied opinions in this room and those listening. So, that is not what we're talking about. I do not wish to repeat the accusations shouted at Jewish students on many of our campuses. They do not deserve time in our sanctuary. But there is no doubt that anti-Semitism has grown and has gotten worse in the last few years, and perhaps in the last few weeks. The causes are multiple, but unfortunately, the consequences are well documented. We have reports of a sense of insecurity among Jewish students and faculty, but also a decline in participation in Jewish events in general, not only things to do with Israel. And in general, there's a sense of fear about expressing support for Israel or any Jewish topics or issues. Learning about what so many of our friends and family are experiencing is discouraging and deeply troublesome. Anti-Semites have been using Jews as scapegoats for thousands of years. Over the past 100 years, anti-Semitism has slanderously assigned blame to Jews for world events such as Germany's loss of World War I, which eventually gave rise to Hitler and the Holocaust. And not long ago, we kind of forget some of these things, but even 9/11 and the crisis of the 2008 economic crisis was perceived by many as something that came from financial institutions that were controlled by the Jews. And now blaming the victims of the horrendous attacks of October 7th is but another example of scapegoating the Jewish people, while at the same time, those people are praising Hamas actions. Both sides are anti-Semitic. Both those who blame the victims and those who praise Hamas. So today, Jews continue to be scapegoated both as a people and as a collective nation in the state of Israel. A recent study conducted by the Anti-Defamation League, the ADL, demonstrates not just the impact of anti-Semitism on students, but also the systemic failures of campus administrations. The study makes it clear that ignoring or gaslighting students experiencing anti-Semitism substantively contributes to an unsafe campus climate. We cannot let campus administrators continue to ignore student complaints. Students' complaints alone, though, will not change their approach. And this is when you come in here and those of you watching us, everybody. Most of you listening, and I'm not excluding myself here because I am not a graduate of a college or university here in this country, and my alma mater, the Hebrew Union College, is not one of the college or universities that are looking the other way when it comes to anti-Semitism on campus. It's a totally different story. So it's really, this time I have to exclude myself because I didn't grow up here, I didn't go to school here. So, most of you listening are graduates of a college or university, or are paying tuition for someone who goes to a college or university, or are leaving a legacy gift to a college or university. So you have some work to do, and I think it will make a change and make a difference in addition to all the other things that are going on. First of all, make sure that you stay informed about what goes on the campuses of your beloved institutions of higher education, wherever they might be. Resist the temptation, though, to simply like or put an angry or a sad face on something you see on Facebook or in social media, or don't just repost something on social media. We know that directly contacting the administration is actually more powerful than simply liking something on social media. So here's something you could do. You could take action. If you find out that they are ignoring the scapegoating of Jews in any way if the administrators are falling short of condemning anti-Semitism, speech that is anti-Jewish, that calls for actions against the Jewish population on campus, please speak up, send letters, ask for concrete actions, and if merited, be willing to withdraw your financial support as well. Yes, of course, we are here to listen and support all our Jewish students, and we, of course, are for everybody's expressing their opinions on campus. But still, the breadth of the problem requires a broad and comprehensive response, addressing the scourge of growing anti-Semitism on American campuses requires real action from campus organizations, from faculty, from campus administrators, residential life, campus security personnel, and you, alumni and families of the students and alumni. Let us be the generation that at least tries to end once and for all the tradition that the Jews are the world's unwilling scapegoat. Have a Shabbat Shalom, everybody. And I know it's hard to have a Shabbat Shalom after this, but it is the reality, and I think we need to take a positive stand if we can. Our service continues now with Aleinu L'Shabeach. It's on page 586. If you're able, please stand.
Aleinu L'Shabeach L'Adon HaKol, L'Atid Gedulah Yotzei Breshit, Shelo Asan Egoyeh Ha'atzot, Velo Samanu B'mishpachot Ha'adama, Shelo Sam Tekenu Chahem, V'gor Alinu B'chol Hamonam, V'anachnu Korim U'misharim U'modim, Mipnei Melech Malchei Hamekim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those who our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. As a congregation, we have heard of the passing of Lena Conway, mother of Julie Schaefer, and we're observing the Shiva period for Maurice Feynman, husband of Lynn Feynman, and Richard Kaufman, uncle of Leslie Malter and Bitsy Sater, and the Shloshim period for Eleanor Simpson, mother and mother-in-law of Ken and Tiffany Simpson, and grandmother of Caroline, Elizabeth, and Catherine, and a member of our congregation, Marilyn Lewandowski. And on this Shabbat, we remember the following yortzites: Laverne Amand, Adrian Balaguer, Arnold Zell Balanov, Phyllis R. Dubinsky, Albert Ferber, Benjamin Finkelstein, Louise Stan Garfinkel, Rosa Kafitz, Esther Malke Klieger, Phyllis Lensky, Esther Levinson, Jean Myers, Norton Polinsky, Bill Swearingen, Burton Bud Willer. Zichronam Livracha, may the memories be for a blessing. Page 598. Please join us in Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish. If it's your custom to stand, please do so. Page 598. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי והמליך מלכותי, בחייכון ובמכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו, לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תוש בחתה ונחמתה, דע אמירם בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועמו ישראל
I have some announcement. Thank you to Barbara Mendelson for being our usher, and thank you to our music team led by Leslie, Warren, and Larry, and to Nathan Hightower, who's been our bow committee today, bringing us beyond our wall. Thank you. Our Shabbat celebration continues tomorrow morning with Sichat Shabbat at 9 a.m., followed by Shabbat morning worship at 10:30 in our sanctuary. We hope that you will join us to celebrate and support Elliot Spiesman as he becomes a bar mitzvah.
And our topic of study tomorrow is being led by Damien, talking about Jews in the land of Oz. No, it's not up there because I forgot. Sunday is also our annual meeting. Join us at 10 a.m. in the sanctuary to vote on our new board and budget. Then stop in the Ulam to buy some sweet treats at the Wine and Religious School bake sale.
And then Sunday afternoon, we invite you to join the Jewish community at 1:30 at the White Theater for our community-wide Yom HaShoah commemoration. Leslie will be doing the music. All of it.
Yeah. Well, yes, most of it. Yes. Tuesday is the Good Faith Network Nehemiah Assembly at Church of the Resurrection. Doors open at 5:30. We invite you to attend and discover what the Good Faith Network has been working on this cycle and hear how our local politicians respond. And our own Jennifer Savner Levinson is the keynote speaker, and she is talking about some things that she's gone through.
Next Friday, we celebrate Jim Kaplan as our May Mensch of the Month. Sorry, Dave. Your reign has finally ended.
And then next Saturday, we invite you to come back to celebrate the B'nai Mitzvah of Corbin Lenz and Samuel Tucker. We hope to see you as we participate in this important and joyous occasion.
And there's a lot going on in this month of May, the jolly month of May. We encourage you to participate in all your Beth Torah community activities. After our closing song, please join us in the Ulam for a Kiddush and Oneg. But until then, if you're able, we invite you to stand and sing with us. Adonai Li is on the slide on screen. Adonai Li Velo ira. Adonai Li Velo ira. Adonai Li Velo ira. Adonai Li Velo ira. Beyado avkidruchi ve'eti hishan ve'aira ve'yimroki geviati Adonai Li Velo ira. Adonai Li Velo ira. Adonai Li Velo ira. Adonai Li Velo Shabbat Shalom.
Take care of each other out there.